And we golf a lot. Sometimes I take Harrison with us, but a lot of times it's just me and Oral. And one day we're out on the course, just the two of us playing. And I said, Oral, you've had at that time like 50 years of ministry under his belt. I said, I'm pretty new at this. I said, what's the best advice you can give me as a young minister? So I'm waiting. I'm just like, I know he's going to give me some gold. And he says, well, Bayless, you got a pretty good golf swing. I suggest you get some lessons. And whatever it costs you, you should join a country club. And then he looked at me and said, golf's the only thing that's kept me alive. And then he went back to hitting a shot. I was so disappointed. I thought, really? That's the best you got? I sort of tucked it away and just thought, not what I expected. Maybe 3 months later, maybe even less than that, I'm in Australia. I'm preaching a national conference for a large Pentecostal group there. They found out I like to golf, so they put me out with an older guy. His name was Leo. He was one of the sort of the founding guys of the movement there in Australia. Was a bit of a legend, among that movement. And so we're golfing, walking the golf course, and Leo begins to tell me a story. He says, Bayless, in the early days of the movement, we were Pentecostal holiness, which basically meant we were very legalistic. Boys weren't allowed to wear shorts no matter how hot it got. There was never mixed bathing, boys and girls couldn't go in the same swimming pool at the same time. Women weren't allowed to cut their hair. Boys were not allowed to play sports. We were told it was a sin for us, to play any kind of sport, so we had to abstain. He said, as a young preacher, I developed some pretty serious physical symptoms. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, Leo, after examining him, there's nothing wrong with you per se, but your health is breaking down, and I'll tell you why. He said, what's your release valve? I said, well, what do you mean? He says, what do you do as a hobby? He said, I read the Bible. I said, that's good that you read the Bible, but you need a hobby. He said, no, I read the Bible and I pray. He said, we'll keep doing that. But I'm just telling you, all the stress from life and ministry, you're carrying it with you. And if you don't do something as a relief valve, as a release valve, find some sort of a hobby, you will go to an early grave. Because this is all stress related. So Leo looked at me and said, Bayless, what I did next was absolutely scandalous. I took up the game of golf. He said there was such gossip and such backlash in the denomination. He says, I got so much flack for it. He said, I wasn't going to go to an early grave. And then he turns around, we're in the middle of a fairway. He looks at me and says, Bayless, golf is the only thing that's kept me alive. I thought, I just heard the same thing you said. And then I thought back to when I was in Bible college. They brought in a missionary from Borneo. To me, that was the uttermost parts of the earth. And so I'm sitting on the edge of my seat thinking, okay, talk to me about souls. Talk to me about sacrifice. And he starts off saying, listen, I've been on the mission field a long time, and I just want to tell you, if you're going to make it as a missionary, you have to have a hobby. He said, mine is beachcombing. I collect shells. And I remember thinking, can we please get a real missionary? And I almost just turned him off. But then after I heard Oral and then Leo, I sort of connected the dots. And I don't look at that time that I take as a luxury. I look at it as a necessity. By the way, I make sure my wife gets her time as well with her girlfriends and being able to do the things that she loves to do. And I have time with her as well. So it's certainly not just about me. But I want to be able to give my best, but I want my wife to be at her best as well. So I make sure that as well as myself, she gets that time. So the T is take time for yourself. We come to the next letter is H, honesty and integrity. My dad always told me, he said, son, do not be quick to give your word. But if you do give it, keep it, or you die trying to keep it. I never knew my father once to break a promise. I never knew him to break his word to any human being